Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, the one and only James Williams Dog Waters is back. And we are back to talk about the debate and just a few points from the debate. So last night, during the debate, when Trump brought up the fact that the Haitians in Ohio are killing people's pets, Kamala decided she was going to laugh. Turned around and said that he's a liar, and I told you tonight you hear all these lies, and bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna pause right here, and I'm going to explain something to you. There is a huge difference between having a debate and an information war. Now, nobody else is going to tell you this, but some of the things coming out of Ohio, Springfield, are a part of the information war. Well, why would you say that, DW? Because, you see, when you have an opponent and they have a certain portion of their constituents that have a love for something like dogs or cats, like, not Katy Perry, whatever the girl's name, Taylor Swift came out and said, I'm a cat woman, meaning she doesn't have any children, and I support Kamala. And if you know the demographics of those people, and you find a story that can pierce the heart of that demographic, oh, you run with that story. You run with that story. You run with that narrative. So some of the stuff coming out of Springfield is them running with the narrative because it's information war. Now, I'm just going to tell you like it is. It's the truth. But at the same time, we're going to have to figure out what the hell is going on over there, because there's stuff going on. There's stuff going on. But before I go into this is how Kamala responded to what Donald Trump said. She laughed it off.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
Which was the dumbest thing you could do, because you laughing it off gave me the visual I need for what I'm going to do next. And I said this earlier today on the live stream. If you understand information warfare, which is what this is, point blank period. If you understand information warfare, then you understand she shouldn't have been laughing at all. Now he's lying and all that. You can do all that, but you should have maintained your composure, because you gave out what everybody needed. And this is not going anywhere. This clip of you laughing ain't going nowhere. Now, with that being said, let's see what the people in Springfield have to say about what's going on. For real.
There's been a lot of allegations of animals going missing, ducks being basically
yes, sir.
taken.
There's pictures of that too.
Can you speak on that? Have you ever seen that in person?
I've seen, the only thing I've seen, I did see a pig's head laying down in Snyder Park.
A what?
You saw a pig's head?
A pig's head.
Like it had been cut off? Or?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't really see that every day, do you?
No,
I told y'all yesterday it was making sacrifices.
you don't. It's kind of surprising.
Wow.
But then our city wants to pass it off as cult stuff.
Our city wants to pass it off as cult stuff. So what you're telling me is the city managers are fine with people coming into their parks and doing rituals? Y'all been sold
Cult
out.
stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think that has anything to do with, like the connections with voodoo that Haitians commonly have? I mean, in Haiti,
Well,
it's a
there's
very
actually-
commonly practiced thing.
I'm sorry. There's actually been a couple people that I know that have been told that they were going to be cursed by voodoo.
By Haitians?
By Haitians.
Now I'm gonna stop right here and I'm gonna tell you something. You see, when one of them Haitians tell you that they're gonna do a voodoo curse on you, you need to take that real serious. You take it real serious. And if you ain't smart enough to take it real serious, there's only two ways to deal with that curse. Through the power of the blood of Jesus Christ, whose blood is all powerful, or the power of lead. Two ways.
So that actually is a
Haitians
real
told them
thing
that.
here.
Yes.
That them practicing voodoo with animals, pig's head.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's you don't hear that every day. That's crazy. How long have you been a resident of Springfield, Ohio?
My entire 58 years.
Your entire 58 years.
Yes,
so
sir.
You don't look a day over 20. Okay. So
Thanks.
how would you describe what's going on here in Springfield? What are your concerns? What brings you out to City Hall today?
My concerns are security, mostly for the women in this town, the young girls. I've been accosted. I've been groped. I've been followed. I don't leave my house. unless I'm armed and have my pit bull. And I couldn't bring them down here, but luckily I knew there was a bunch of people.
And see, this is the most disgusting part of what these liberals do. You see, they say they care about women's rights.
If there was ever any doubt about why Emily's list is important, last night makes the point. Women's rights in America are under attack. If the court overturns Roe v. Wade, it will be a direct assault on freedom.
Tonight, 2 Venezuelan migrants are under arrest in Houston, charged with murdering 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray.
He took away my firstborn.
A chilling attack in Brooklyn is caught on camera. A woman is tossed to the ground and sexually assaulted. Tonight, police are trying to track down the suspect. CBS 2's Karen Dillon reports.
Take a look at this surveillance video. In it, you can see a man following a 35-year-old woman down the street in Brooklyn. He eventually tackles her from behind and knocks her to the ground.
It's sad that you can't walk anywhere and be comfortable enough to walk and not worry that someone's going to attack you.
My body, my choice. But then you bring people into a country that don't give a damn about women's bodies. They have no respect for women. But you stand on stage, my body, my choice. Like what's that boy's name? Steph Curry. Fake Christian behind. Oh, you know, I'm a Christian, but my main objective is women's rights and reproductive rights.
Endorsing CALMA is important for me, for my family.
Why? What are the issues you care about most?
Say what?
What are the issues you care about?
I just know from especially women's rights and thinking about, you know, what's at stake with this election, and understanding like we need to be in a position where women have the right to choose what's right for them, and that's at the top of the list for me.
Boy, by the way, watch what happens to Steph Curry right now. Steph Curry was on the top of the mountain as a basketball player. Watch what happens to Steph now that he's publicly taking a stance. Watch what happens. Watch what happens to Steph. Watch this spiral that Steph goes through. Watch it. With that being said, it's amazing to me. All this about women's rights, women's choice, and then you got women telling you that they're being groped, that they're being followed and harassed. But the same liberal women and men, they don't give a damn about that. Because you want to be right. It don't matter till it happened to your old lady. It don't matter till it happens in your neighborhood. And that's the problem. So when you see this lady in Springfield saying, I've been groped, I've been harassed, I've been followed, everybody can say, oh, she's racist. No. What you need to do is see that as your mama or your auntie or your grandmother. And when you start to look at people that way and say, nah, hold on, homie. I wouldn't want that to happen to my mama. I wouldn't want that to happen to my grandmother. I wouldn't want that to happen to my sister or my daughter. Then you say, nah, we can't have this. This can't go like this. But as long as everybody's disconnected by the racial talking points, the political talking points, man, these people gonna run and mollywop and skull drag America unlike anything you ever seen. And quite frankly, it's all our faults. Both Democrat and Republican, liberal and conservative. It's everybody's fault. Because you gotta see that other person as a human being, as an American. And that's the one thing that the media is great at, is dehumanizing people. And once you dehumanize a person, you can do anything you want to them. So these people have been dehumanized, but everybody's defending the Haitians because they want to humanize them. But you dehumanize your fellow American citizen. Now, there's one guy that was on here. He was wilding. He was calling them sand monkeys. He was going off. He was wilding. But you dehumanizing your own fellow citizens. And that's what the media is great at doing. They're fantastic at dehumanizing people. Both right-hand side and left-hand side. And understand, there's only one reason why you dehumanize an individual. and that's to kill them. So as you see the dehumanization going on against both sides, understand that what comes next is people dying.
The education system, it's terrible. And we've got adults going to school at the high school.
Can you
There were
explain that a little
fights
bit?
the first day. There are illegals. They're from 19 to 23 years old going to our high school.
That's a little unusual. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
My 10-year-old granddaughter has a 16-year-old in her class.
Wow.
That's a huge difference. That's how your granddaughter get raped and molested.
Yeah.
Does that raise safety concerns for you?
It raises many safety concerns for me. And like I said, all the women and females in Springfield, I don't care how old you are, obviously I'm 58 and I've been accosted.
Can you explain kind of what happened in that situation?
Well, I have lived on the south end of Springfield my whole entire life. It is, the majority of the population is black. I've never had any problems. I was at a store a few days ago on South Limestone Street. I was attacked. I was called racist because I'm white. That was their reasoning, because I'm white.
And then you had mentioned about, being groped in the past. Could you explain that as well?
Yeah, a Haitian guy was following me around the store. Literally following me. I asked him once, "Why are you following me?" He smiled and turned his back. The second time he came down the aisle, he was up against my rear end. And I pushed back from him and I said, "What the F are you doing?" And he said, "You don't understand English." So I pulled up my shirt and said, "Do you understand that?"
That's what I'm talking about. I bet he understood that
And
one.
he left.
Yeah. I bet he understood that.
Wow. Well, what would you want people? Obviously, this has kind of blown up into a national news story overnight, it seems like.
Well, they're burying their heads in the sand. Our city commission, our mayors, our people that we pay to protect us, the police, their hands are tied. I mean, everybody's complaining because the police aren't doing nothing, but they can't. Biden and Harris gave these people complete immunity, complete amnesty. So their hands are tied. So we're on our own here. And then they get on the news and they say that we're lying about what's going on here. If you get on Facebook, for anybody that lives in Springfield that feels the way I do, there's pictures to prove what we're saying.
I've heard a lot in the interviews that I've talked to today.
Let me tell you something. This gonna end bad. This gonna end real bad. This gonna end in bloodshed if something not done about this. This gonna end real bad. And it's going to be the precipice for them trying to start a race war. Because you see, you couldn't get the black people and the white people in Springfield to shoot each other, stab each other, rob each other, kill each other. You couldn't just get it to happen. Because if you could have got it to happen, it would have happened. In fact, if you could have got that to happen across the United States already, it would have been done. So now you bring in some people from outside the country. And quite frankly, they don't care if them people live or die. They don't care. So they say, oh, you go in there and you terrorize. You got complete immunity and amnesty. You can do whatever you want to do. And so when you plug one of them, which I don't think they realize how it's going to go, but when you plug one of them, now they all can revolt and rebel and say, oh, we going to get you. And they thinking that other people of color going to side with the Haitians. And I submit to you, they got some dumb Negroes that will say, oh, those my people. That's my people. Even though they weren't born there. You's a dumb Negro. Some dumb Negro gonna say, that's my people, they hurt my people. That ain't your damn people. Period. They're from another country. You ain't from that country. So you might get a few. Remember what happened with Black Lives Matter, right? It started, oh, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. Then it was infiltrated and it was all white boys with masks covering their face and they burned down your neighborhood. Remember that? Black Lives Matter. Torched your neighborhood, looted your stores. And then everybody caught on. Hold on, wait. That dude, they don't care about me. So we at a point now where the next assault on America will be provoked by these people that they brought in. And I'm going to say I'm about 60-40. I think it's 60% of a chance. No, let's go a little bit higher. 80-20. I think it's about 80% of a chance that people are going to see through this. 20% chance that you have riots in the streets and people side with the illegals. And understand, all this defense of them is to try and get people to side with them. Now, I'm going to say something real radical. I'm going to say something super radical. They need to put them in very liberal districts. I'm talking about New Orleans, drop them off on St. Charles Street. Dallas, drop them off in Highland Park. I'm talking about Hollywood, California, on the Strip. I mean, in Beverly Hills. This the game we playing? 20,000. Dropping them up right off right where you are. I'm sending them to you. Because without that experience, remember I told you, the biggest problem that we're running into in America is when it pertains to women, liberal women, is that they feel safe. See, like, this woman had enough sense to keep that thing on her. You do that same thing in a scenario in a liberal neighborhood, in a liberal grocery store, she ain't got that thing on her. This woman had that thing on her. So she raised a shirt and said, hey, chopper style, chop, chop, chopper style. We won't chop, chop. But see, you drop it in that liberal neighborhood, they don't believe in the Second Amendment. That's how you make them understand. Yeah. They need to take them and put them there. And I mean, just the honest to God truth. 20,000, Beverly Hills. 20,000, Santa Rosa. 20,000, the best place in San Diego. Drop them. Parachute them out the sky. I mean, I would make them jump out of planes and parachutes. It would be a spectacle when I got through with what I was doing. They'd be like, they got Haitians coming out of the sky in parachutes. They got Venezuelans flying down in parachutes in the Highland Park. People like, what the hell going on? I would make it look like a real invasion. To the point to where people say, no, this is not right. And then when they call me out, Mr. Williams, you know what you're doing is, no. This is what we wanted. We wanted open borders, right? We want the borders open, right? It's an invasion. Let's make it one. Let's make these people understand what an invasion looks like. Because this is nothing more than a stealth invasion. That's all it is. A stealth invasion. I'm gonna holler at you. Deuces.